Hey y'all, I think we're live. We're gonna do kind of a unboxing slash just do what I'm gonna do. This that 1880 something Knabe has a very old damper system that doesn't work so well. So I'm replacing the whole back action with new damper heads, felts, everything, and we're also gonna modernize it to have a modern sostenuto system, which it was not equipped with before. So that's going to require some adaptation. But anyway, let me show you what we got. So in the past, I rebuilt a similar Knabe. These are rosewood, beautiful pianos. This one is the one we've been fondly calling the termite piano because it got a lot of termites in it. But anyway, here is the back action that was shipped. This back action is from Wessell, Nickel and Gross. And if you're not familiar with Wessell, Nickel and Gross, why, you should be. This is not a sponsored thing. I just said that for fun. But Wessell, Nickel and Gross, or otherwise known as WNG, is I don't know what you call that, daughter company, sister company, some kind of family member company of Mason and Hamlin pianos. They produce the parts, but they really have gone all out in providing rebuilders with a lot of parts that will work in pianos that otherwise just couldn't be worked with so well. All the way from rebuilding the action from the ground up, the keyboard, back action. They have a lot of nifty tools. You've seen me use some of their tools. But anyway, I'm gonna, again, I'm not like sponsored by Wessell, Nickel and Gross to do this. It's just, I knew this system because I've done it before in the past a couple different times. And this piano needed it. And so I thought, I'm gonna go there. And it's a good value too for the pricing for these parts. So here we have some, I'll bring the camera closer. We've got some damper wires. And these will be pounded into the damper heads eventually, but there's also the other hardware that we need. Basically all the hardware. We'll set that aside. Then we have the main, wow, did I just cut myself with the razor blade again? I don't think so, but it was close. Close one. The main part of the system is this rail that the damper underlevers mount to, okay? Let's see here, we're just gonna cut it open. And get to work here. Now, there are a lot of tasks you get to do as a piano technician or a piano rebuilder that you don't get to do that often sometimes. So you have to get good at reacquainting yourself with a process or inventing a process for something that's not done, or you're only doing it for a one-off case. Ooh, look at this shiny, look at these. You know what these are? Look how shiny those are. Those are brand new damper heads. Those are fun. That's just fun to see. And they got this little guy here that's just happened to be out of place. Perfectly tapered and painted, and they've got wood on the side. Oh, it's just beautiful. That is just a beautiful piece of wood there that's been prepared for dampers. We don't need these for a while though. So we're gonna put that off to the side where no one will mess with it, hopefully. And then we have the rail here. And I think I have other parts elsewhere. I know I have a box of underlevers somewhere that will eventually go on there on this rail. This is the rail for the underlevers and also the rail for what will be the sostenuto. This is black anodized aluminum. Look at that shape. See, that's the sostenuto blade shape, right? That goes in there and catches tabs. We can set that aside for a while. And this is the tray. This is the part that lifts the underlevers up. And this is the damper underlever rail. One thing you might notice is there's no holes on it or anything. It's just a solid piece, right? There's no holes anywhere. We've got to decide everything, how long this is going to be, where we're going to cut it, trim it. Then we've got to drill holes in it to mount the parts that will match with this particular piano action. That's some of the first steps we'll be doing, is determining the spacing of those holes. And I'm going to be referring to the instruction manual a lot on this one, because it's been long enough, like I was saying, that I haven't done this. So let me join the stream too, because I do want to talk to people. I've been working kind of feverishly over the last week, but now things are a little more relaxed. I've finished this 9-foot to my satisfaction. I had a pianist in here this morning recording on it, just kind of giving his feedback. I'll have another pianist in on Tuesday. I don't usually do that, but I'm doing that just to kind of give an example of the level of work that we do, and I think this piano really epitomizes that. Anyway, let me jump on the stream here. And where is it? There it is. Okay, I just want to, if anyone has any questions or thoughts. Hi, Jeffrey Boyle. Hello. Hi, Hein. Is it Hein or Hain? Or he? You know, how do you say that? How do you pronounce your first name phonetically? I would love to know. Anyway, we've got the chat going on. So I'll just put that up here where we can kind of keep an eye on comments. And we're going to go take a peek at the instruction manual and just go through this. You're going to get to go through this with me, okay? So let's go for it. It's going to be on my screen. If I was really cool, I would be able to mirror my screen. I think I'm almost to that point. Almost. There's probably... I just have to add a scene. Let's call it computer screen. Okay, this just... like combine two things. I'm not sure on that. And when I have the computer screen, oh, you lose audio, don't you? You're losing audio maybe when I switch to the computer screen thing. bear with me for just 1 second while I try and figure this out. Okay. Okay, that works now. I don't know if the sound cut out when I was switching screens or not, but anyway, we've got it now. Okay. Someday I will figure out screen on screen, but that's okay. For now, we've still got audio. I can switch back and forth. That's good enough for me, I guess. Okay. All right. Here we are. So we're going to create a damper action scale stick from the back of the keys. The procedure to make a scale stick from the ends of the keys is pretty straightforward. Remember, this method is useful only for a damper action. It would not be appropriate for a top action. Okay. So we need to get some things to make a scale stick. We need some mylar, we need some a pencil and a square, and that's pretty much it. Okay, and we need to get the action out. All right, so we are gonna get the action out, which I think is somewhere here still, should be. Let's see, I'm gonna pull my chat over here. Jeffrey Boyle says, great stream last night. The sound did cut out. Oh yeah, we've got sound now though, right? We're up and flying just fine, I think. Thank you for that. Yeah, my filming wasn't the best last night, but we covered some good material. So I was glad for that at least. And I appreciate everyone who's tuning in. Now I did finally get a couple, a different lavalier mic that makes a more direct connection today. So I'm hoping you are noticing the benefit of that already without the crackling, that annoying crackling that I had, right? Okay, so I'm looking for the action for this piano, and there it is. I'm gonna get my things out of the way and grab that. I'm getting excited for our not damper class, our upright class that we're gonna do, right? Next week, stream it all. Be there for what you can, watch later what you can't. Okay, these are the damper guide rails on the, I've had to, reproduce these in the past on similar piano. That was fun project, but anyway, there's some stuff we don't need on here for sure. Oh, you know what? Before I forget, I've got to do a quick little side project. If you remember, if anyone was there on the stream for these Kawai pedals, some moving company dropped an upright UST-8. Somehow it dropped like with a step on the pedals just sheared off, the right pedal and the middle pedal. So I was able to get two brand spanking new ones from Kawai. And they come with the holes drilled in the same fashion that these had. A little bit different, but I have to take off this plate here that couples the two pedals, and I have to reinstall it right here. But which is interesting. Oh, I see. It'll work. So let's do that real quick. Actually, I'm gonna go grab a, what do you call that? Socket wrench that'll fit this if I have one. Okay. That's too large for sure. Let's try this little guy. Nope, that's too big too. Hope I have a socket small enough. I'm sure I do somewhere, but. Okay, I'm wrestling with my sockets here. I have to deal with that later, I guess. Okay, what do we got here? Is this the right size? No, that's too big also. Striking out here. That's too big. All right, forget it. We're just going to use a little crescent wrench and... Oh wait, maybe it's right here. Maybe I have it right here. Oh, there you go. That'll work. Got it. Okay. So this is easy. This is just two nuts and bolts that we're just going to take apart and put on the new pedal in anticipation of going to the customer's home and installing. Of course, this is turning freely. I need a crescent wrench on the back side to grab it, of course. Oh, I have one in my bag. Got one in my bag. This is my favorite little baby crescent wrench. Okay. There we go. Oh, that's doing something maybe. Oh, or not. It just slipped off. Let's try it again. Not enough hands. I'll have to watch this side. Maybe this isn't my favorite wrench today. It's not doing what I need. Okay, that's loose enough. Not quite actually. It's not loose enough. Too bad I don't have two sockets the same size, I don't think. These little guys. This is just, I mean, it's just 5/16. It's pretty common. Which I would expect a metric thing for Kauai, but who knows? Okay. It's just tight enough that I can't do it with my fingers, right? Of course. There we go. There's a little lock washer on there. And that's it looks like. And a bolt. And the same deal here. So what's everyone up to this today? Do you have any good weekend plans? What's going on out there? Okay. Second nut and lock washer. Grab my... Okay. So this mounts here. Benefit of getting a manufacturer part, right, is that it fits. And these are kind of a specialized pedal. They're not so generic, these Kauais, right? Kind of a unique system where it utilizes both the middle pedal rod and the right pedal rod to lift all the dampers for your sustain pedal, your damper pedal. And then you can use the middle pedal independently just to lift the bass dampers, which no one I don't think ever needs to do, but nevertheless, uprights have that feature. I don't want to cross thread here. Let's try the other way. Got my lock washers on there. Let's see, I'm going to grab out the phone and check the chat wherever I'm at here. Check the chat wherever I'm at. How about that? How about that? Okay. All right, that's enough for that. All right, okay. Let me grab. crescent wrench on the head here. Just run this in. No special technical skill involved here apparently, and yet I'm having a harder time with this than a lot of specialized skills. Okay. There we go. We'll kind of tighten that on there. Just about got it tight. Okay, that's good. It's pretty tight. And I need to straighten this thing. We can do the other one. Yeah, we gotta have the crescent wrench on this side. It's kind of neat how they have these plastic pedal covers to protect the brass. I like those. They kind of clip on there. Anyway. So, obviously not part of the Knabe back action, but it had to be done. Here, I'm going to be going back to the home and figuring out installing these pedals. There is some stuff in this one that's not, you know, here, and I don't know exactly why. There's a spring, obviously, on this pedal, so they had a felt, and then this punching here. So I'm going to rip that off and just transfer it over, I guess, huh? Yeah, let's see how that lines up. So that lines up with this hole here. So that was there, and then it was behind it, right? So there's going to be a spring here, I guess. I'm just going to put this back in because it was to replace a rubber part that I think had worn out, and so we might want that later. I might have to figure out something with leather on this. I didn't order all the different rubber grommets, and you know what? I'm glad I didn't, because these rubber grommets just get chewed up and they wear out anyway. Then the pedal adjustment's off and it makes a lot of noise. So, but anyway, these are ready to go for when I go do that job. So we're all set with that. That's good. Just hit my head on the microwave and it beeped at me. Okay. Now we're going to clear out this action cavity a little bit. Okay, this piano was dried down so far. You know, we've done lots of epoxy fill and repairs into the rim where the termites burrowed. We determined the termites only got in the maple. And the maple is only in certain sections of this rim. That whole side, it only goes maple back to here, and then it's like oak. So it's not the structural part of the rim that they got into. So that's the good news. And it was just the pin block and the wood, you know, with the stretcher. Anything that was maple. They didn't touch the spruce, they didn't touch the soundboard, anything like that. They didn't touch the belly rail. Luckily it was made out of oak or something. So anyway, we dried this piano down significantly and then filled the cracks with epoxy. And anyway, we'll continue with the project. Just a little history there on that. Let's see, any cool comments? Paul B says, are you working this weekend? I hope so, because then my favorite YouTube shows. I'm not working this weekend. Unfortunately, I've been working. I was kind of around the clock to accommodate some things and get the most out of that 9-foot piano that I could, footage-wise, because there were some good learning opportunities there for everyone. So I'm going to take off. I'm going to take tomorrow off for sure, and be glad that I did, and Sunday. So. The sound is smooth. I'm glad the sound is smooth. Thank you, Jeffrey, for confirming that. But you're probably not caught up on all the streaming I've been doing. So And if you are caught up, you probably haven't watched all my videos, and if you have, you probably haven't had a chance to incorporate everything in them yet. So there's stuff to do, right? I filmed this morning. We filmed a first-rate pianist playing this 9-foot piano the Steinway, and as soon as I can download that stream from YouTube, as soon as they get it processed or whatever they need to do, I will be able to, what do you call it, edit it and then paste that up, just as an example of rebuilding from the Salt Lake Piano Service shop here. I'm always welcoming of work coming from wherever. I'll do whatever, anything, you know. And for technicians, if technicians want a piece work out this way for certain components like pin block, soundboard bridges, whatever, stringing or action things. Action work, it's best to have the piano for that, but you know, the whole piano, right? But if you wanted to piece things out, I do that. Offer wholesale discounts to technicians for that. Okay, so let me go to the computer screen back where we were. Okay, oh, we needed to get some Mylar. That's what we needed, right? So let's do that. Let's do it. We want a scale stick, small square pencil, and I don't think I have any more W&G scale stick kit stuff, but I may. I just might. And even if I don't, I have other Mylar we can use for that. So, oh, look at this. I do have some. We will use it. Okay. We will use it. So this is Mylar here. I'm going to spread this out. I'm going to go get that action out. See if I can set it on this table here. Get rid of this clamp. That's what I was doing, right? Back a while ago, I was going to do that action and we got distracted. Put this clamp back, grab the action. Okay. So, I don't have any expectations that this Knabe will turn out just like the 9-foot Steinway, right? It's just not realistic. It's a different piano, a different thing, a different instrument. Just going to show you the old archaic action here. And it had the damper, the wires were threaded. So those wires were threaded in, and then the heads, I can't figure out, you know, how they worked around that very well, but that's just that old one, what we're replacing there. I'm just pulling it out for demonstration purposes. Let me get the key action. Okay. Right. So for this action, it's kind of a historic design that we don't really see anymore in pianos. It's not like some of the Steinways where we're basically seeing the same kind of thing as what they had back then. So for this one, we're reusing most of the parts in the action. Reconditioning is needed and replacing hammers. Okay. But I do need the keys. For a back action, all we really need to know, so we have two fixed elements that the dampers work on. One is the guide rail, and that's already been punched in between the strings beforehand, you know, back when there were strings on the piano. And we're going to put strings back where they were. So Anyway, so we really just need a couple elements here. We need to know where the backs of the keys are, since that's the part that comes in contact with the damper underlevers. And we need to know, well, we don't need to know it right now, but we need to then, so from there, then the wires will bend and be spaced and moved over as needed to go through the damper guide rail, which sits above this, which I got out a second ago. Okay, so I just massacred my thumbnail. I think I need to eat more vitamins because my thumbnail's breaking. Okay. All right, here's this. I'm just getting this tape out of the way, just in case we want to put more tape, or at the very least, we're going to be working on the back here to make a scale stick to know where to drill the holes in the aluminum, which is fun. I like doing that. Wessell Nickel and Gross provides the bit, the tap, good instructions. They even do classes. You can go to the factory in Mason and Hamlin. They used to do classes in Sacramento. I don't know if they still do at the piano disc building there, which also used to be at the time when I went some years ago. They also used to assemble the Mason and Hamlin uprights there. So that was kind of fun to be there. And the head engineer, Bruce Clark, was very generous with information and sharing anything about his designs. He designed these things as far as I know. And boy, he's just a wealth of knowledge. It was fun to hear his take on things and learn some things about engineering and kind of just take on that mindset, that approach to things that doesn't come naturally to me. Good thing we're replacing that, huh? There it goes, right? All right, that's it. I'm getting a plastic putty knife. Let me go get. I can't peel that tape off. It's just stuck on there. Let's see. No questions on the chat. Feel free to be vocal. Literally, like, well, how do you say that? Be vocal. Be prolific chatters. Feel free to be prolific chatters. All right, so here's the old. See if we can get that to not fall over at this point. And here's a plastic knife. Yes? Hello?
Hi.
You down to look at those pianos?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's the front office on the corner. I gave you the wrong number, but
Well, he said, are you Hyrum?
he wanted me to.
Well, he just sent us here because we just said that he. Are you Hyrum?
Kirk did, or yeah.
Yeah. So Hyrum just we just
At the
told
corner,
them that.
they said that you were down here, but we were just wondering what you have. But if
Yeah,
that's what you have, then we'll go.
Yeah, I don't, because I don't sell here. I mostly just rebuild.
Okay.
But there's that one upright that I'm selling for a friend, and then Barris has a few
Okay.
that you might be interested in.
Okay.
So
Yeah, we'll look closer at those. We'll look briefly. We did see the upright Steinway.
yeah,
Look at the other ones.
yeah. Did you have any questions on that one, or?
I don't think so. We're having a really hard time to deciding what we want to do because we have a grand piano that has been pretty good for us over the years, but we want some more space, so we're just looking for an upright.
It's hard to go from grand to upright.
It is pretty hard. Pretty much all the ones we've looked at.
We're like, the bass notes just aren't cutting it.
No, they're not going to. Yeah, but have you looked at any like bigger Yamahas or anything uprights?
We just looked at a Yamaha 3.
They're usually really great. I mean, some of those though that'll be around were used in Japan for like 20 years and kind of reconditioned and sent over here. But if it started in the U.S., you can find some that are in pretty good shape.
Do you want to ask how much it would cost to redo our grand piano?
Yeah. Do you only do Steinways or do you do other?
I do everything.
Well?
Yeah. What do you have?
We have a Baldwin, and like I said, we're looking we're looking at a few different options. We're looking at possibly rearranging our room in a way that we can make this big piano that we currently have work.
We love the
or
sound of
get rid
it.
of it and get an upright, but we just haven't found any uprights. So.
Yes, ours is a Grand Prix Baldwin from the serial number says about 1915.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's in really, I mean, it sounds amazing still, but it
I can't
definitely
cut
needs
it
some-
smaller.
No. Too bad.
Well, we could, but the result wouldn't be good. No,
but it has, cosmetically, it has a lot of issues outside. So like scratches. There, I mean, you could, it's not, here, we can show you. It sounds beautiful. Kirk's always like, oh, this is a nice instrument. Obviously, it's getting aged. It's over 100 years old. Can you get off my foot? And the lighting in our house isn't great, but so it has like a bunch of surface scratches on the outside. It's not washed, so it has fingerprints too. Is that when you play?
You don't have to turn on the.
yeah.
I think it sounds amazing. I love the richness of the sound that it has. And then the top, like it has stains like this.
So did they send you to maybe try and find crystal, or you didn't show this to them?
We didn't show it to anyone, no.
So I do, I do all the insides of the instruments, that side of things. We do have a refinisher that can totally refinish things, which is probably what it needs at that age. The finish is enough gone that makes to fully refinish. I mean, he'd probably charge you about $7,500 to. It would look like a new piano, on the outside. If you wanted to address the inside at all, I mean, if the action and everything works pretty well, you could probably just put new hammers on it, and it would be like a new piano in a lot of respects, just from that even. I mean, if it holds a tuning and everything.
Yeah, it holds a tune, and Kirk said there's a slight crack that he noticed in the
soundboard,
but there's no buzzing.
I don't think Kirk said that. Someone
Well,
told us
he went underneath it for me last time, and he said there is a little crack, but there's no buzzing. You can't tell.
Yeah, I mean, if it doesn't look like this, you're probably okay. So, yeah, a little crack. I mean, it might mean the sound isn't radiating as well as it once did, but I mean, it's not game over for sure.
With that type of piano, do you feel like that's an investment that would be worth it? Are we
The Baldwin,
we would be able to sell it for?
Well, that's always a question of the market, right? Unfortunately, because Baldwin went out of business, and then they kind of kept the name, but were producing pianos that were not, the same quality. It changed hands and things, and so that kind of brought the value. People don't value them as much as they ought to, maybe those older ones, but they were good instruments, right? So it would, if you were going to rebuild it, would be more just because you're in love with that piano, If not, then just put the money into some upgrade or something else that you're,
If we did go that route, maybe $7,500 could get the outside all looking nice and everything, and then a certain amount to get
probably about double that to work on the insides.
Double that if we were to do more than the hammers, if we were to basically completely redo the inside.
Have you seen
Well, if you completely redo all that, I mean, then you're about about 4 times, about 30K.
So you're just saying new hammers, or are you saying
New hammers, and then fitting them. That's not new strings or anything. If it needs it, if it's holding a tune and you're not breaking strings a lot, the strings are probably fine. Would be a lot better. Just you could leave them if you weren't wanting to budget the whole rebuild, because you would lose some money on that if you ever resold it for sure.
Yeah. Do you have any guess at how much a really nicely refurbished Baldwin from the 1900s?
I mean,
would sell?
I would. It's about 6 foot piano
It's
in
a
length?
little bit more than 6 foot, I think, but about, yes.
Yes. I mean, you'd be hard pressed probably to sell for more than 20, 25 would be my guess.
If it's in.
Yeah, even if
pristine
it's like
condition.
in like new condition, yeah.
I feel like Utah might be a little bit of a hard market.
I mean, it's a good market. Right
There's a
now,
lot of
things are kind of
pianos
down
for-
for used pianos because there's a lot of used
Yeah.
pianos for sale.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
Do you have a name of the person who?
Christoph?
refurbishes?
yeah, I can give that to you. In fact, you texted me, right? Or I can just text it to you.
Awesome.
Okay, that'd be great.
Yeah, and then he doesn't work for us. He's just a contractor, but he's in here a lot, and he can quote you for sure what he.
And I think Kirk
And he-
actually also, we're up in Logan.
Yeah.
I think Kirk also replaces and refinishes inside.
He
He does some of that maybe.
does
does he do
some things, but not so much. He more just like repairs. Yeah.
I think he does more voicing and regulating.
Yeah.
And if we were to hire him or you, would that include like getting the instrument here, or would we have to hire?
Yeah, that includes moving. Barris is a moving company.
They
So I
actually
have,
hire us up there?
yeah, so I have them do everything, and my estimates just include that. So, yeah, you'd probably figure, 15K would get you a full refinish, new hammers and everything adjusted. It's not just the hammers; it's the part that the hammer's attached to.
The
Anyway.
oven is one piece.
Yeah, and then everything adjusted to voice,
Okay.
to be as good as it can be
I mean,
at that
really,
point.
if we could get the outside looking good, that's a big part of it because it sounds pretty.
And the outside doesn't. I mean,
Just yeah.
right now it matters, but
Yeah. So, but yeah, I'll text Christoph's info to you for sure.
thank you so much.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Thanks for stopping by. What were your names again?
It's Rika and Jacob.
Rika and Jacob. Good to meet you. Thanks. Yep. Take care.
Oh, and here's Sarah.
Oh, hi, Sarah. Okay. Just had a little bit of a customer there. Sorry about that. Why did I get booted off my stream? Let's get back on there at any rate. Anyway, so I'm just going to text the refinisher's number to those people. Okay. All right, I'm going to get it off the instructions here so we can kind of just view what we're doing here for a minute anyway. Okay, I'm just taking some tape off. I was talking to the camera, not realizing it was just showing that computer screen the whole time. Sorry about that. That's boring. But hey, this is just blue painter's tape, but it's turned into like extreme hold gaffer's tape or something somehow. I don't know. We spilled something on it or what? It's just super tape now. Doesn't want to come off the workbench here. So I'm curious if anybody saw the stream last night playing around with Piano Scope. Any takeaways, any insights there that either intended or unintended from what I was presenting there? I'm just curious. Okay, let's get into the stream here. I need security because that's, well, it's just kind of an open business. People come in. All right. Okay. So, all right. What we're going to do is we want a block of wood to block up the back of the keys, okay? So we want to prop them up. We want to block the ends of the keys so that the balance point of the key is slightly above the balance rail. So we want to take the scale stick from the point where this key teeters, right? So these keys are they're all front heavy. They go up just fine, right? They're not, I mean, they're already up. But what they want is for it to be kind of right at the point, at the highest point, I think, where that damper underlever is going to fit, which is basically where it is, okay? But they do want to block them up like that. I think just to have a solid, kind of a solid foundation to work on. What do we have that might accomplish that? No. Let's try. Let me see what blocks of wood I have. I wonder if I have any bridge material.
You guys doing anything today?
Hey Dave, yeah, I'm working.
Getting ready to leave or?
No?
No, I'm just kidding. This is
Should I? Should I leave?
This is my neighbor.
Hi, good to
He
meet you.
Fixes my electronic stuff on the players for me.
Oh,
How you doing?
good to meet you.
Clark Diamond.
It's Hyrum and
Hyrum Weeble.
Weeble.
Yeah.
That rings a bell.
Does it?
Yeah.
Does it ring a wee bell?
No, not a wee bell, a day bell or something.
really gonna
Real
redo
bell.
a Harrington?
I got that for free. What I might try and do is I'm gonna Bondo the whole thing and try and do like a wrap and make it like a shiny black piano with like an auto wrap instead of refinishing it down the road. But that's just when I have nothing else to do.
So what you're saying is you may never get to it?
Yeah, I may never get to it. In the meanwhile, they can practice tuning on it and stuff, and it works for that. Yeah. Yeah. So that's kind of
Don't
the
have to worry about breaking a string or anything.
right.
The 5 Browns come up and play for you.
That's-
Break a lot of strings.
Yeah, they might. What are you after?
Nothing, I just was showing
Oh.
the place.
Oh yeah. Welcome to look around. I was just gonna grab
That's a nice way to move the sound.
stick or something. Yeah, that plate lifter's really handy. Yeah, I've got three soundboards in a row, Dave, that we're gonna do. Yeah. So, yeah, this one and then 2 others. They're in the hot room.
You're in there?
Yeah, it's like forget a hot box. This is just a whole hot room. It's a lot easier.
Do you buy them pre-cut or do you?
Yeah, so I'll send in. We send the old one to Bolduc, and then they duplicate it and send it back. Yeah, and then we just have to do the bridge and stuff. So, well, we have to glue it. We have to glue it in for sure, right? But
This is when you're doing a new soundboard in?
nope, that's just to repair. We just did epoxy in that one. This one's just getting new hammers, new back action and stuff. So, 18 something. Yep. 1800s.
Did Christoph refinish that piano for you?
Dieter did, because we can't do the 9-foots in here. They don't fit in the tent.
Oh, Christoph's brother Conrad Dieter refinished this one for him.
Yeah. Of course, it needs to be touched up, but it's been in here getting. If you look at it, it scratches. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, good to meet you. So you're the real genius behind his work, huh?
No, I'm just an old
Taking some of these old control boxes that no one wants to fix it.
Oh, and you can fix them? Wow.
Yeah, but
That's pretty.
it's hard to find the parts anymore.
Yeah.
old computer stuff is long gone, and now it's like antique cars. You have to pay maximum dollars to find the stuff.
Yeah.
They don't make it anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
One of these days, I'm going to sell my Commodore 64 for $1 million.
We had a Commodore VIC 20 or something like that. I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to go up.
Really?
He's got his
I bought a
69
'69 Mustang.
Mustang
Mach
in his
1.
garage. He's been working on for.
You want to paint it for me? I need somebody to paint it.
Well, I'm not the painter. I'm just the
I've got
piano guts guy. Christoph will do it. Yeah.
Christoph might paint it for you.
He does mostly wood in airplane. He does it in airplanes.
Well, airplanes be
Yeah.
the same. Maybe use a little better paint in an airplane than a car. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I grew up in the old days, and we were vacuum tubes and stuff when I was growing up.
Oh, I know. I remember taking the tubes out of our TV because it wasn't working. I'd go up to the store and you
Yeah, have
could
a
plug
tube
them in the
tester.
things and test them, and then you'd buy new ones and go put them in. Half the time it worked. Half the time it didn't.
My dad used to put them in until he found one that worked. Then he'd start taking the other ones out, putting the old tubes in, and then he'd take half of them back because it didn't make a difference whether they were good or bad. They seemed to work anyway. So there was always one tube or two tubes that were bad, and those made the difference. And it always broke when I turned it on.
Hyrum doesn't
Jeez.
remember those days. Had these round,
Little
you know
prior.
what the tubes look like.
Yeah.
Some of them were this tall and round, and you just plug them in. And that was back in the day when I was growing up. That's all we had was a 19-inch black and white TV.
Yep.
When I got married, the guys I worked with gave me a 32-inch, no, a 27-inch color TV. I thought I died and gone to heaven.
I don't know how we can.
And now you can go buy.
Now you look at it, I don't know how we ever like saw the picture, you
Well,
know,
now
on the
you can
smaller
buy it.
screens.
You can go down and buy a 55-inch for what it used to cost for those ones back in the day, the first color TVs.
Yeah.
They were like $16,000, $18,000, $20,000. My brother worked at Sears, and we used to go down there and talk to the guys, and they, this one right here, that's a 60-inch, and it's $25,000. And I, $25,000.
The last one I bought, I was walking through Walmart, and it was a 55-inch, and they had it on for like
Yeah.
$3.99. I'll buy it.
Yep.
Took it home, and it's been great. I've had it for years now.
Yeah, they do all right.
That's pretty. That's a good
Oh,
Yeah, it'll be really nice when it's all done.
fixed up.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a lot of work, a lot of fun.
Plenty of work. Yep.
Good deal. Well, thank you for letting me see your area.
Yeah, anytime.
Y'all check it out.
Anytime.
Good deal.
Yeah, take care. Okay. I'm going to tape this in place here. All right. So we're going to be taping some mylar. I'll show you here. We're going to be taping this strip of mylar behind the keys and then using a square, and we're going to mark it at the treble edge of each key. Okay, because that edge is all that we really care about, that treble edge. And like it says here, it says if we mark the treble, we can take into account all the various errors that occur. Okay, so here we're just going to end up with a bunch of lines like that, and that's our scale. Okay, so without further ado, let's get taping that up and let's get drawing. grab some tape. This is not extra super difficult, right? But because of the way this action is set up, I do have to take some care here under the keys. To get this at the same angle here. Get it parallel to the line of the keys. Just gonna stick a strip on there and bring you in closer here. You can check it out. Okay. You know what though? I might have done something kind of dumb. I just trimmed my mylar. I might not have wanted to do that, unfortunately, but we'll come up with a workaround here after. But first, we'll get the scale. We will get the scale going on. Okay. Because I think we're going to want to make some marks outside of this range of the where the dampers go and things. Okay, let's just try this. That's pretty good. All right. Let me get my little square out and fix this mylar just a tad. It's kind of sticking up, not flat on the wood there. This is kind of a weird setup with this key frame. So anyway, but it'll be all right. We will be okay. All right, I want a pencil, mechanical pencil. That's one thing I learned from Bruce. If you're doing precise things, you know, don't be using a big fat #2 pencil. We're going to go on the treble edge of each key. Okay. And I'm going to go on this one. Just these are tapered, they're cut actually. So I'm going to I'm going to go just inside the taper there. And just in case, we should be all right because we have a spoon length that should go deep enough into these keys. But let me show you what I'm dealing with. Look at this. These keys are cut on that treble side. So I'm deciding where. I'm kind of splitting the difference a little bit, not going all the way to the edge, not going all the way to the taper, but just a little bit close to where that bevel ends. And then it looks like we don't need to worry about it too much from there on out. You can see why we need a scale stick though. Look, this grouping of the tenor notes and the big space, you have to know, and then keys warp on top of it. You know, you have to kind of know where things are going to end up. This part of it isn't so difficult. We just draw lines. And by him saying, by his instructions being, do it on the treble edge, it's kind of brilliant because it avoids errors. If I was to try and mark the middle, it wouldn't work out so well. And if I was to mark the other side of the key, it wouldn't work out so well because of the direction that things, the action moves over when you press the unicorda pedal. Okay. So, let's see, I kind of want to grab that chat. Let me grab that chat again. I'm always moving it around. I'm moving around more than I realize. I think I'll be settled and then I move again. Here it is. All right, everyone's busy on Friday. Friday afternoons are a little slower with the streaming. Either that or I just get really lame on Friday afternoons. Don't tell me if that's what it is. Just let me, just don't pop my happy bubble. Okay. Go on here with the old marks. I'm sitting here making a double mark. I don't need to do that. I can just do it faster with one mark. There, now I can just get on the edge of the keys. It's a lot more straightforward. I don't have to worry about what's going to happen with that taper if the spoons aren't long enough or something. But like I said, I think we'll be just fine. There's something very satisfying when you're tired about just like drawing some lines, right? So you think like, why are you marking that treble side edge? Okay, think about it. If we marked a treble side edge, okay, so the action's going to move to my left when it, if it was oriented like this, it would move to my left, okay? So we don't want it to fall off of the treble side edge. We want that to be, we want it to still be on the key that it's under, it's above, and not hit its neighbor. And when we do it this way, that enables us to be able to align it that way, and we know it's not going to hit a neighboring key. Let's see, here we go. This Mylar that they have is really cool. I've looked for stuff like this in sheets and just big rolls, and I can't find it. I would love to find it. It's got, one side is kind of chalky like, so it's rough, and so it's easy to make a pencil mark on, and then the other side is smooth. Okay. All right. There we go. This board that I'm doing this on is bridge cap material that was deemed unworthy of bridge cap because the grain spacing's not super tight, not so great. Okay, here we are. Do 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 do. Okay. Oops. And that's all the damper notes we have, actually. It's interesting, there's these holes drilled in the backs of the keys. Something in them, but anyway. Now, there's some important things to not get fooled with. Just right now, I'm just going to kind of mark a little T for treble over here. and a little B for base. So for right now, I don't get turned around. Okay. So now we're going to go back to the old instructions. Check those out. Okay. Because the keys change when they are cut. Okay, we know that already. All right. Next step. At the minimum, you need to ensure that the spacing between the note centers, or the key centers in this case, is at least 12.2 millimeters. If for whatever reason some are closer than 12.2, you got to correct that problem. If the overall spacing in a given section is closer than 12.2, then you will not be able to use the action. Now this is something we already kind of went over to determine, but so I imagine I already measured that way back when we ordered this some time ago. But we'll double check that spacing. Just get a millimeter ruler here. Maybe a couple of them. Yeah, that's good. So we want a spacing between the lines of greater than 12.2. Yeah, we got it. We got it. I don't see anything yet. I'm just going to look down the line. I'm just kind of lining up with a hash mark. Most of these are, if you're curious, they're 12.5 or 13 apart or more, 14 on that one. This means that one's 12, but you know what? It's going to work anyway. He's really particular, but it'll be fine. Because the spoon comes out, I can bend the spoons wherever I need. And if I need to tweak these keys a little bit one way or another, you know, that'll work. We'll be fine there. Okay. Everything else is well over that. There was just those two keys that were kind of close together, but that can be amended. But we're not going to bother doing that at this point. We're going to do it after the key bushings and things are done. Somebody might say, why are you doing this before the key bushings in? I think it'll work out to do it this way. And right now, without the stretcher and the pin block glued in, we have a lot of light back there. It's just easy to work on it. And yeah, so, and then it's going to go to the refinisher for a long time, and I just wanted to get a little further ahead in the project. Just get a leg up by working on this back action already. Okay, all the spacing on those is looking good so far. Okay. The base is plenty greater than it's bigger spacing here than what we had in the treble. Oh, I've got sound coming out of my stream. That's weird. Okay. So we're good. We are good. We've made that check. I'm going to go look back at that. Sorry, I forgot to switch the camera again, but you got to ponder this quite a bit, right? Okay, so now While you can orient the scale stick any way you wish, the convention is that the base, or bracket 1, or note 1, is on your left while the numbers are oriented so you can read them. So we want to write the note numbers at the end of each section on the Mylar scale stick. Write the numbers just inside the note lines. Okay, so here we have, it's giving an example of note number 26 and 27, and it's saying write it to just, just inside the lines for the ends of the sections. And that's when the base is oriented to your left. So in order to achieve that, we have to spin this thing around. Let's go back to the camera. That's what I wasn't showing you before. So right now the treble is on my left, correct? So we don't need it taped to the back of the action anymore. We've got our template there. So we're gonna go like so, and then we're going to, how did I get pencil all over this scale stick? I will never know. But right now I'm just going to complete the lines all the way across here. Okay, I've got some gunk on my square I want to sand off. Just got a little bit of glue there. It's kind of messing me up. I'm going to file off the corner and sand this off really quick. You may have seen me use this square for hanging hammers, but this is where I got it, was from doing W and G parts. It comes with the scale stick kit. It just comes in handy that way. There we go. Just file off that glue. There, now I can get a nice clean line here. To make this easier, I want to tape the Mylar down again. But you notice I've already turned this scale stick around once, right? Hence, it's a good idea to mark your treble and bass right off the bat on these, because it's easy to get confused. I like the way Bruce Clark would say, he'd say, it's astoundingly easy to drill this backwards. I thought that was funny. Okay, so then the Mylar will kind of keep my square with the paper, ideally. Or I can do it on my board here. But my Mylar's not parallel to the board. Sometimes you can tape the Mylar to the edge of the board. Let's just do that. Just do a good job. Not that this wouldn't work, but I'm just gonna do a better job of it here. Just tape that Mylar right on the edge of my board. Ouch, splinter. Okay. Now go. I'm going to do one more piece of tape in the middle. Just to stabilize that. Okay. And now I can just butt my square up against the wood, and it's going to be a lot faster. I'm thinking anyway. Yeah, it is. It's a lot faster. So we're ending up with several lines here, right? Just all the way across the Mylar. Just makes it really easy to read for where you need to punch holes in the rail. So each of these is a custom deal, right? To the backs of the keys. The backs of the keyboards are so custom, because who knows what that wood's gonna do. I drew that line wrong. Right? Okay. So has anyone out there put in any Wessell, nickel, and gross parts before, or played a piano that had these parts in it? A Mason and Hamlin, or a rebuilt piano? Curious to know. I can tell you this, having gone to the class, they're very carefully engineered parts. Kind of personality that thinks of everything. When I went to the Wessell, nickel, and gross rebuilding class, it was actually kind of a juncture for me where I had to decide if I was really going to tool up and start to build up a shop and get into rebuilding or not. And I kind of wrestled with that decision a little bit. I realized if I'm going to do this, I'm going to need some tools. If I'm going to do it, I've got to kind of do it all the way if I'm going to make it work from a business standpoint. And so I decided to get some tools and haven't really looked back too much since. Okay. Back to the old instructions here. Let's see what we got. So, all right, oh yeah, we want to write the note numbers at the end of the section on the Mylar scale stick, just inside the note lines, okay? So we're gonna do that. So we have, and we don't wanna mess it up because this is right, I ended up drawing it right at the end, which was probably not too smart. But this is note number 1 right here, okay? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 22, 23. This is kind of a unique piano. Note number 23, I'm going to double check that. Yep. So this is note 24 and note 28. This is another little baby tenor section there. Then we have 29, 32, 34, 6, 8, 42, 4, 6, 7, 47, 48, 52, 4, 6, 8, 62, 4, 6, 8. 68 notes with dampers on this piano. Okay, boy, it'd be handy to have my laptop up close, wouldn't it? So I went ahead and numbered those on there. And we're going to go to the instructions again. Just to the left of the number 1 bracket, I haven't gotten any information on writing bracket spacing yet. Let's see here if it missed it or what. Okay. While you can orient the scale stick and write the note numbers, oh, I see. So they give us dimensions here. Okay. So we need to mark where the brackets are going to go, the mounting holes, and then the tray flange. There's several flanges that support the tray and hold it in place. And then you have your holes for your note flanges. Okay. So we're gonna just identify the scale stick. I'm not doing a whole lot of these, but we'll do it anyway. We'll follow the instructions. So I've got to mend my Mylar here because I ripped him. I'm gonna just tape an extension on there. No, that should work for us. Then I'm going to kind of tape the other side of that. Tape the edges of this together. I can see where the line is fine. All right, good enough. Good enough, I think. I'm gonna bring my, oh, I can't bring my computer over. I've kind of set this up not so great. Okay, so we're just gonna write the piano info. So there's 2 different types of rails, a thick rail that they sell and a thin rail. And we did the thick rail, which is the standard. Yep. So we want 40 millimeters from the first note to the end of the rail. Then we want 10 millimeters in from that is where the holes are. So we need 3 additional lines. We need a line 15 millimeters out, 15 millimeters out, and then 10 millimeters out, which equals 40, and it better equal 40 or we're in trouble. So we're gonna go untape this, and we're gonna draw our line here. I'll do it on the left side here. Okay. All right, so we're just gonna, I'm gonna redo this. It's crooked, right? I was trying to convince myself it was good enough, but guess what? It wasn't good enough. Can't be crooked on that. There, that's straight. That's straighter. Almost. Let's try that again. Take this off. Tape this together. It doesn't really matter where. I just need to get it on there good. It's kind of tricky to do, but we did it. Okay. All right, I'm going to go with, so we need to go 15 millimeters, 15 millimeters, then 10 millimeters, and then we'll label them. Switch the camera there. Now where did my little millimeter ruler go? Oh well, I'll use the big one. Should work. All right. So we're gonna go, we're just gonna put a line here and then I'll get my square. Line that up. And I want 15 millimeters this way. There. Then another 15 from that. Should be here. Another 15. Then we should do 10, which should be 40, but we got 30, 40. Wait a second. Was it 45? Is that what it was? It must have been. Because we need 10 millimeters. So it's 45 over from the first hole of the actual note that we marked. Okay. So I'm just going to kind of check these measurements again. That is 10, 20, 30, 45 millimeters. 10 millimeters in, 15, and 15. Oh, I didn't do it right. No, sure didn't. That's why we check. That's why we check. That's why we're going to erase this on the Mylar, which is nice that you can do, right? You sure wouldn't want to drill this tray wrong. I think that would be like a $1,000 mistake right there. Okay, 15 millimeters. That's why I was messed up. Right here, 15. Then another 15, which is right here. then 10. There, now it's 40 millimeters. It was 40, wasn't it? And of course we'll double check this, of course. So now we have our 3 lines, 15 millimeters over, 15 millimeters over, 10 millimeters over from that. And I'm going to look at what we need to label those, okay? So we're going to label those according to our instructions. So we know where the note number 1 is. Then we're going to label the first one, the tray flange, and then the bracket, and then the end of the tray. Not tray, this is the rail, end of the rail. So we want to label tray flange, mounting holes, end of rail. Tray flange, mounting holes, end of rail. Okay, we might do like a little dashed line just to remember that. Okay, so we did that on the one side. Now, do we need to repeat that? You're looking at it and I'm not. Okay, on the other side, we need 50 millimeters out on the treble side. So we're going to go 50 and 15 and 10. 50, 15, and 10. This is from the treble side over, right? Okay, 50, 15, and 10. We're going to put this on 50 and go to 100. Okay. 50 to 100 here. Double check my alignment. Oops. There we go. That didn't draw where I wanted it to. That was terrible. I was holding that awkwardly. Let's try that again. I want this clean. Okay, I'm just going to tape the Mylar down. That'll help tremendously. It's been a little while since I've done this. It's been a number of years, so. Okay, we're going to put it on 50. We're going to go 50 out to this 100 mark, and I'm going to mark with my right hand on the right side since that's been what I've been doing every time and it's been successful. So there we go. That's better alignment. 50, 15, and 10 from there. And I didn't change the camera. Well, I'll show that, and then we're going to double check those measurements. 50, 15, and 10 for a total of 75 millimeters, right? So 50, 15, and 10. You know what? I'm just slightly off here. just off, just by a millimeter, just the way it worked out. I'm going to fix it. Okay. Okay, let's try again. Sometimes my eyes get wiggy and I have to kind of recheck what's going on with them. There, that's perfect. 50, 15. And 10 from there. Okay. You know, I don't know that it's going to be a deal breaker or something if I got one of those just slightly off, but we're going to check. Okay. So these are going to be labeled the tray flange, mounting holes, and the end of rail, right? Just the same as the other one, but I go through it slowly so I don't make a mistake, right? Tray flange, mounting holes, and end of rail. Okay, and we have just about a scale stick. See that? Look at that. Right after note 68. Okay. Notice my upside down T there? I'm going to make that a right side up T, or better yet, just so there's no confusing, right? There, we all know that. And the same, and I was about to say the same on the other end, but no, the bass clef on the other end, right? Okay. Then we'll go to the instructions again and eat a Thai spring roll while I'm at it. It's a delicious spring roll. Okay. So where's our instructions? That's for the thin rail here. We're not doing the thin rail, so we're going to move on. The tray flange and the base should be 15 millimeters from note 1, and the treble it should be 50 millimeters. Okay, we got that. The method used at W and G is to mark the note centers with straight lines and the brackets with dashed lines. The tray flanges are centered between the notes at the interior breaks. Okay. So we want the end of the tray is marked 10 minutes. Okay. Okay, so we need to mark mounting brackets in between the notes at the interior breaks. Okay, this piano might be a little interesting because we have a tenor break. And I can't remember what I did the last time I did this. So here's an interior break. I don't think we're going to do a mounting thing in between the tenor and the treble. There's no room. And I don't think it's necessary because it's right next to this mounting bracket. So to center something, well, in this case it's easy because these are exactly 50 millimeters apart. So all I have to do is, first of all, where did I put my pencil? Where did I carry my pencil to? Here it is. Okay, so you see this right there, the break right there? This is between the bass, top bass note and the first tenor note. And we're going to draw a line right in the center, which in this case is 25 millimeters. That's just nice and tidy, isn't it? Nice tidy number. That works perfectly. Now, it says that when they do it in the factory, I think there's different size holes, but I'm not sure, but they say they do a dashed line for the tray flange. So we'll just tray flange. And I'm going to do the same thing over for this tray flange. I'm going to do a dashed line on the other spot that we did it. Okay, here we have another break right here. So we'll make another center. This one's not as tidy, but it's pretty close. Okay. So now our mark's going to be right there in the middle. That's how we center something. Just get a hash mark on a ruler, and then you space it evenly from the other hash marks. And then of course I need a dashed line. Okay. That's going to be a tray flange. Then I just need to dot my other tray flange line on the end here on the treble end. Or dash it, I mean, not dot it. Okay, I think that's going to be it for the scale stick. Let's see. Oh, I'm getting a call from the wife. Let me answer this. Hello. Okay. We're going to continue here with the instructions on eating spring rolls. Okay. So now we've got that, we've got the scale stick all marked in exactly the way they want. We're going to go back to our instruction thing. Now it's time to drill the flange rail. Now this is a really important step if you ever get into this. The most important part about this step is to orient this tray in the correct way. Okay. It's you know, in principle, it's simple. You just punch where the hole centers are and drill. But you just have to make sure that you're not doing it backwards. Okay. So we're gonna, first of all, okay, we got a scale stick already. Now we've got these dimensions in it, right? We put those in. We don't need to pay attention to the thin rail. So we're going to clamp the rail, flange rail, to the bench. Mark a rail for drilling is easier if it doesn't move during the process, okay? But like, they clamp it upside down in this image, I think, if I remember right, or backwards. Unless they fixed it, I'm not sure. But then we're going to basically tape the stick on there, and then we'll be able to score lines on the rail before we drill it. Okay, we want to line up the base end with one of the ends of the rail. We'll be cutting the rest off, but we're going to start from the base, okay? And then I've got a little punch that they give you that punches that aluminum really nicely with some rubber on the bottom. But I mean, you don't have to have this punch, but it's really nice. Okay, but we're going to make sure. So once we have it taped up and we have the rail clamped lining up with the base end and we tape the mylar, then everything's fixed. All we have to do is move the punch along the scale stick and punch where those lines are. And it says to do it with a plastic mallet because they don't want you to mar the tool. It says make sure you look straight down when you align the mark with the thing. Otherwise you'll introduce rails, okay? And then you mark the brackets and where you're going to cut the rail and so forth. All right, after the holes are marked with a square, blah, blah, blah. Okay, we're going to back up and start doing this step here. We're going to get tooled up to do that. So, but first I want to double, triple, quadruple confirm that the rail is going to be mounted correctly. Okay. I don't want to waste $1,000 or whatever it is. Okay. So, we really don't need the action anymore. I'm going to get that out of the picture. Let's move that out of my way. Stick it in the key bed backwards, just for fun. Okay. All right, so we want to clamp this rail, but the holes, the thing here is like, the tricky thing here is which end is up and which is the top and which is the bottom. And once you know that, you can align it correctly bass to treble. Okay. Now I believe that this is correct because there's a little groove here where the parts will align, so the holes will go into here. That being said, I'm going to double check. I'm going to look at their diagram of how the tray is composed. I'm not going to look at their pictures because their pictures are, first of all, it's hard to see, they could be wrong, and we want to look at the diagram. So this is the proper orientation if you look for the thick damper flange rail, where that groove for like a wire, like an alignment wire, goes along the bottom right there. Okay. So Let me switch that back to the camera. So this groove right here, right above there, it's hard to see with the angle. Right above it. So it should be oriented like this when it's in the piano. Okay. Just for a triple check, I'm gonna get out an underlever. Okay. And so here's an underlever, and it has a little alignment bump on it to keep it straight from leaning tilting this way or that way. See that bump? And that bump corresponds with the groove in this rail. So it's going to sit just like this, and it can slide along in that groove, right? So the holes are going to be drilled right straight into that face. Now I'm going to go get my punch and kind of orient myself that way. You know, it's really valuable for me to visualize and confirm visually that everything's going to work out, right? So let me get my special stuff. And it's been a little while since I've done this, but I was smart enough to put this all in one baggie so that next time, and I even gave myself some extra screws there. Looks like I've got a drill bit. I've got the tap for it, and I've got their punch, and it's got a scored line that's supposed to line up with your line on the thing. So the way the hole's going to go, there's one way where it's like wrong and one way where it's right. Look at the height here on this hole versus that. Let me straighten up the camera to kind of see it a little easier. So when that slides along, that's correct, but this way, incorrect. You see how the hole on the punch is low compared to the center of this hole? It has to go this way. This is why it's easy to drill it upside down, or backwards, I mean, with your scale stick, okay? So the punch has to be, the line has to go down into this, onto this part of the flange right here. And then I need my scale stick from here lined up treble to base, okay? So first thing I'm going to do, now that I've got that oriented correctly, the line goes down. I'm going to place a board along this. Let's just do a skinny one. Well, let's do it. See, I have to turn this rail backwards for this to work the way they kind of rigged it up. Let me show you what I'm talking about. I'll go back to the computer screen. So the way they rig it up here to drill, you see they're doing it upside down. So if you look at this image, we are at the top side of the rail and the bottom is on the part where that wood board is kind of attached to it there. All right, so we have to go, the base should be on our right when we are punching this. Okay, let me get some spring clamps. You can kind of visualize that, but I'm gonna get some spring clamps. What time is it here? 4:15. Sorry, I needed to buy a spring roll. Okay. Let me grab. Did I ever turn my mic back on? Oh, good, I did. Let me grab some spring clamps. Okay, now we're going to set this up for us. We're going to set this up on the workbench the way we need to. All right. So we have to turn this rail over. But now we know which way it goes really well. We've studied it out. We're not going to mess this up, right? We're going to clamp the rail in place here. And so that's that. Now the line has to go up for us because we're doing it upside down. Then we're going to stack some boards here till we can get that close to flush with the rail there. Okay, good. That's about it. And we're going to start with the base end. We're going to align the base end. Oh, but is this the base end? No, it's not the base end. That is the base end. So easy to make a mistake the way this is set up. So here's my treble mark. I'm going to ignore that. I'm going to flip this over. Now we're going base to treble. Okay. Now I'm going to align the end of the rail with, you guessed it, the end of my rail. I'm going to use the longer board here. It'll be a little easier to deal with. This is just to prop up the thing level, so just so it's easier to sight everything. There, that's how this is going to lay out. Okay, I'll show you here. That's how that's going to shake down right there. Okay. Now, I want to tape my Mylar in position. I'm right in line with the end of the rail, which is great. I want to clamp my boards down though too. I'm going to go get 2 more clamps. On one side, I can just use one clamp and clamp both the rail and the boards. I can't really do that on the other side. So I need my spring. So I need my spring clamp for the rail, and another clamp here to just position that. Okay, things are not going to move at this point. So I'm going to tape my Mylar down now. Okay. That's fixed just the way we need to. This is solid, so I can run my punch now. This is note number 68. It's the treble because actually the tray goes this way. Right? The underlevers go like this. And so that indeed is the treble end. So I'm going to put my hole up. We've got everything aligned correctly. But at this point, we're going to triple check everything. This is my base end on the Mylar. My rail, this is my base end of the rail. The base end is supposed to be aligned with the end of the rail. It's really close. I need to tap it over. Oh, I just messed up my whole setup there. I pulled the clamp, which was on the Mylar, unfortunately. Okay. Well, that'll help me realign like I was going to. Okay. So I need to align the end of the rail with the end of the rail. Okay, got it. Now I'm going to resecure this treble side and reclamp the board here. Oh wow, everything's just working against me here tonight. Must be time to go. Oh, look at that. And now I'm dropping punches and everything. Okay, this is the base side, aligned with the base side. The rail's in the right position. The rail is clamped down with the wood here. It's clamped down here. It lines up. Everything seems to be good. Okay. All right. We're going to end there, and we will come back to it with a fresh brain. It'll give us a chance to double check it. But we've gotten that far at this point on doing this back action. All right, we'll sign off and catch you next time. Thanks for joining.